Welcome back. Time for another build. Up next, full mechanics, switch from Mercury Gundam Aerial. Which I'll be honest, I have no idea what I just said. I've never done a full mechanics. Don't really pay attention to which from Mercury, although it appears my 20-something-year-old has because she saw the box and was telling me all about it. But it should be fun regardless. And honestly, I saw it at the hobby shop and it just looks cool. And I can't think of a better reason to do a Gundam, really. So we'll do our usual, unbox it, time-lapse, show off the model, and then I'll come back and talk through it all. So let's head over to the bench. Okay, let's see what this Gundam Aerial is all about here. So we have a decent size sheet of decals here. Some nice blues and yellows. Oh, this red is really pretty. That's gonna look really good. Kind of a very shiny, iridescent red. Some reds and whites, some grays, some more blues and reds. Not seeing like typical real grade where you have like an inner frame. So this definitely looks a little bit more master grade-ish in the build. Our instructions. We're looking at 15 pages, so not a huge amount of instructions. And the back here has some nice history, some pictures, some poses, and of course the usual paint guide. And it looks like we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 or 10 trees here, so we'll see how this goes. Be fun to get going with it. So we're all done. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let's talk full mechanics first. I'd done a little bit of research before I built the model, but it wasn't really clear, so I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's see what we got. It's a real grade, okay? You end up with a 1/100 scale instead of a 1/144 scale. It doesn't have the kind of pre-built inner frames that a real grade comes with, so you're building out your own elbows and knees. Really, that doesn't add a whole lot to it. The number of trees, the size of the instructions, the size of the sticker sheet, the details you have on the model, just all screams real grade. So if you've ever been curious what a full mechanics is, just think real grade. For the instructions on it, seemed to be mostly straightforward. I did have a few times where I put pieces together backwards, which was a little odd. I mean, I know we all know that kind of your state of mind when you're building plays into things, right? If you're distracted or tired, all that kind of stuff. But I did this over the course of a few nights, and I really have a hard time kind of saying that it was all my fault. But of course, by the time you realize something's wrong and you look at it and you realize the way it should be, and then you go look at the instructions, it's like really obvious, right? Because you've already figured it out. So I can't like definitively point at spots that were like vague in the instructions, but there was some vagueness there. This Gundam has a lot of undercuts, which I like, right? Helps visually with the model. But it also has an unusually large number of those please don't accidentally cut me parts, which if you've been doing Gundams, you know there's always a part that's got some nub sticking out, the gate connects to it, and you have to be careful to cut the gate and not the nub, else you ruin everything. I mean, this is a real grade size kit, and I counted at least 25 of those in here, okay? So if you're doing this kit, pay attention to that, otherwise you're gonna mess stuff up. As for the model itself, I love it. I think I'm so used to kind of their traditional Gundam color palette that these colors are just really nice to see. They really have this cool kind of iridescent red where they then lay like a clear smoked piece on top of it. And so it has a really neat like circuitry look. The finish is nice. I mean, everything's snapped together well. There's no loose parts. It feels a tad bit wobbly when I stand it up. Like it's not quite solid, but you know, that's just kind of how it feels to me. I think it's really cool. So the shield, if you don't know anything about Gundam Aerial, the shield for her breaks apart. And she can actually remotely use the bits as defensive, and it even has lasers and stuff for offensive capabilities. And she has all the hard points on her to actually store the bits. So if you want to take the shield apart, you can store all the pieces if you want to. There's a separate base that you can buy where you can put the bits on like they're flying out and kind of pose her behind it, which I think is just really cool that they brought that detail into the model that well. So of course the question is always, if someone comes up and says, hey, I found this kit on the hobby shelf, should I grab it? I'm gonna say, if you're comfortable with real grades or you feel like you're ready for a real grade, grab it, right? It was a fun build, aside from the couple of little things I talked about. The results are cool. I love how it looks. I mean, it's just all around a pretty good kit. Can't really say much more than that. So keep the comments and feedback coming. Always looking for bigger and better ways to do things. And thanks for watching.